this thing on? I don't know if I remember how to do this. I'm just kidding. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, I've seen the comments. Frank, where's the videos at? Frank, where's the channel? What's going on? Bring back the YouTube. I'm here to tell you we're back. It's a new year. Happy New Year to you guys. We got the channel back. We got a ton of content already going, and I'm super stoked. I'm super excited. Hope you guys are too. And if you guys haven't already, drop a subscribe down below. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that do. Over the last year, since the last time I posted a video, we have grown to 2,900 subscribers, and I'm really hoping we can, of course, crush more records here. So guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. So again, guys, huge appreciation for you guys motivating me to get this thing going back again and supporting the channel even when it's been dormant. And a great way to support the channel is checking out frankbuiltperformance.com. We sell a wide variety of performance parts and accessories for your Cummins, Duramax, Power Stroke, diesel pickup trucks from all your favorite brands, from Dynamite Diesel, Smedding Diesel, Fleece Performance. We got KC Turbos. We got all your favorite brands. And guys, if you don't see what you're looking for on the website, shoot me a message direct. Chances are I can get it for you. So again, guys, that's frankbuiltperformance.com. Best way to support the channel. Let's get into the video. Well, boys, there she is. There's the new addition to the fleet. But before we get into the new truck, I figured I'd give you guys a bit of an update on some of the other trucks in the fleet, some of the other trucks that you've seen in previous videos and whatnot. So we'll get into that, then we'll talk about the new baby. Starting off with this bad boy. For those of you that don't know, this is the OG truck of the channel. This is what started it all. This is my baby. I love this truck, and unfortunately, this is where she's at right now. So the last time you guys seen this truck was at Rainey's Transmission Dyno event. I'll link that video down below as well, where we made 1,579 horsepower. Of course, it had my built 6.7 engine in it, had a full manual valve body 48 RE, and had a big set of compound turbos, had a 480 over GT55 with a set of big old 350 Dynamite injectors. After that, we had taken it to Diesels in the Mountains in 2023 as well, and we were shooting for a 2,000 horsepower dyno hit, and unfortunately the nitrous wasn't responding, or I don't know what happened, never really figured it out, but we only made 1,550 something horsepower that day. Now after that, in true fashion with this truck, it got torn down for the winter, and I was going to try a new turbo setup, new injectors and everything like that, and I went so far as even building a new compound kit for it, which even though we didn't use on this truck, you guys will see it in a future video, so stay tuned for that. Ended up tearing it down, and then it sat for a little while, and then I got a hair up my butt that I was going to sell it. So of course I pulled out the big motor, the transmission, all the performance parts out of it, and even built a whole another engine and transmission for it, basically a stock plus 5.9, stock plus 48 RE, which is like a great just, you know, towing setup. And I got it all together, got it looking really cool, got a nice set of wheels and tires on it, and even posted it for sale, started getting some offers. And once I started driving it again though, I just couldn't bring myself to sell it, and I ended up selling all the parts back out of it. The stock plus engine, transmission, everything got sold, the wheels, tires got sold, and I was going to rebuild it, but I have some other irons in the fire that I wanted to work on, and that all required money. So all the parts for this bad boy got sold. Only thing left is the transmission and of course the truck. So yeah, like I said, I was initially going to sell the truck, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I love this thing too much. We've got too much history with it. I mean, this truck is the most I've ever done on one vehicle. It literally paint, the suspension, engine, transmissions. It's had tons of different stuff done to it, you know, even down to done some interior work, and you know, it's just a really clean example of a third gen. And honestly, the parts that were worth any money were the engine, transmission, turbos, and all that. The shell itself, I mean, I'd be lucky to get 10 grand on a good day, which for me, it just isn't worth getting rid of for that. So for now, this thing's on the back burner until I can bring it back and start chasing the horsepower goals that I've had with it. Of course, that all takes a lot of money, so until then, it's not going anywhere, and not much will happen with it. I don't really have a need to build it, to put it on the road just to make another stock truck when I have the new 4th gen anyway. Still got a ton of parts from it. Really just sold the main big parts like the engine, transmission, injectors, things like that are easily replaceable. So then of course we have the brown or tan, I don't remember what exact color that 6.0 was, the long bed, the one that we did an engine build, we did a transmission build. I mean, I basically rebuilt that truck from the ground up. It ended up needing everything. It really nickel and dimed me. After we got that one together, I ended up selling it, of course. Reason being was at the time I just didn't need another truck. Wasn't really my style anyway. I don't like long beds. And also it was kind of the tail end of the COVID era as far as like used vehicle pricing, where the market was still pretty high, so I could sell it and I was able to make money on it, which if you factor in my time, I didn't really make money on it, but I was at least able to get some money out of it, which if I had held on to it for even like 6 months longer at this rate, the values started plummeting, which they are now, which, you know, I would have really lost money. So yeah, again, if you haven't seen those videos, check it out. We ended up doing engine, transmission. I mean, that truck was really just brought from the ground up. That truck I had initially got from a customer with a blown engine, and it sat in the yard for like 2 years. And then we finally brought it back and rebuilt it. So it ended up being a really cool truck, just didn't really need to keep it in the fleet. We'll give an honorable mention here to Gabe's Excursion. He's still got this bad boy. You guys have seen, we've done some work on this as far as transmission work and other things. She is a bit dirty right now. He's actually here today because working on the engine, because in true 6.0 fashion, it needs some high pressure oil leak repairs done. We also got a little bit of transmission work that we might have to do to it. We'll see. We've been fighting this dang transmission really since we built it. For whatever reason, this one has not wanted to cooperate. So yeah, that's the update on that one. My Excursion, which was, I believe, the last video I even posted, which 6.0 on a budget. That one I ended up trading to my buddy for the truck that was initially going to replace the OG Mega, the 3rd gen, which was another Mega, but it was actually a truck that I had owned before, and I sold to my buddy, and then we traded back, and then I ended up selling anyway. So that was a big mess. But yeah, I sold that truck, or traded that Excursion to my buddy. I did that deal because I thought I was going to get this other Mega cab, make it my daily, make it a better truck or whatever. And again, with the way my mind works, I change it so often that I ended up selling the Mega cab that replaced the Excursion. That Excursion, however, like I said, my buddy has it. He ended up doing we did a Frank built Reman 6.0 engine in it, so it's got a fresh engine. Eventually we'll probably do a transmission in it. He did a 4-wheel drive swap. He did a updated front end. From what I understand, it's his wife's daily driver, so it's really come a long way. I'll try to get some video, or, you know, do something with that thing to show you guys the update, because again, that was the last 6.0 we had on the channel. And then I got an honorable mention for a truck that I don't think I showed on the channel, but I want to talk about because it was one of my favorite trucks that I've had. Is another 6.0 Power Stroke, of course, and it was a crew cab, short bed. Picked it up. It was sold because it had a crank no start, and I was hoping that it would be kind of a quick flip like an H-pop, because it was an 0304, and those of course are known for killing H-pops. But with my luck, of course, it ended up needing a full engine and did a ton of work, and it really came out super clean. It was a nice, just clean stock truck. Didn't have like crazy power add-ons and all that. It was an awesome truck. I daily drove it for the couple months I had it and running. So yeah, that thing was an 0304 with a leaf sprung front end. And if you guys know anything about those, they just don't turn as great. They have a lot of like flaws that kind of make them undesirable. And yeah, I could have converted it to a radius arm front end, but it was much easier for me to just sell the thing. So that's what happened. So that wraps up the update for the trucks of the channel, or the fleet, or whatever you want to call it. And guys, I know you guys are big into the 6.0 Power Stroke content, and although I don't have any 6.0s at the moment, I will have something for you guys shortly. So with that, we'll start talking about the new truck of the fleet. All right, guys, I brought her outside because I think she looks way better. The Delmonico Red just looks way better outside in the light, in the natural light. And guys, I mean, tell me this doesn't look really, really good. And yes, guys, the title wasn't clickbait. This is my dream truck. This is a 2018 Ram 2500 Mega Cab in Delmonico Red, which in my opinion is just the best color for any truck. Fun fact, when I was building my 3rd gen Mega Cab and we were getting it repainted, I really wanted to do this Delmonico color. However, the cost at the time was just gonna be way too much for me in that build. It would have literally tripled the cost of that paint job, and honestly, the flame red or whatever red it's called, I think it looks really good as well. So we didn't do that, but I've always had an eye out for the Delmonico Red. One of my other favorite colors would be the Patriot Blue, which is basically the blue version of this red. But I digress. In full transparency, I bought this truck about 6 months ago in the summertime. And when I first bought it, it was a bit different than you see it now. It came on some 37-inch with 26-inch forged wheels, 26 by 14 KG1 forged. It was like on an 8-inch lift. It was jacked up. So the first thing I did do was get rid of that lift kit. I'm not a big fan of lifted trucks, at least super high, getting kind of old. And I don't like jumping up and down with the kids and the wife, and it just makes it easier. I mean, honestly, really, you guys know I lower pretty much all my trucks too, so this setup was a happy medium. So I ended up selling the lift kit that was on it, the wheels and tires, and I ended up going with a Thurin leveling coil. I got a set of Fox 2.0 shocks. Got Fox shocks in the rear as well. Fun fact, it is running a 5th gen radius arm, and they are the same on 5th and 4th gen. They just look a little different, because the one that came on it was a Fabtech or Pro Comp or whatever, and I got rid of that. And overall, I'm really digging this leveled look. I ended up putting a set of 20-inch KMC IMS wheels. These are a brand new wheel that KMC came out with this year, and I think they look super sweet. They do have a simulated bead lock. These aren't real bead locks because obvious reasons. And I've wrapped it in a set of Mickey Thompson Baja Boss MT tires. I'm a real fan of these tires. I think they look really sweet. They're no louder than any other MT on the market, Nitto, Toyo, whatever. They're a lot better than the cheap amp tires that were on here before. And to be quite honest, I think they look really sharp, which, you know, for a tire, looks aren't that important, but hey, it's a nice bonus. It did come with the amp steps, which are always nice. Really great creature comfort, especially for an old guy like me. There's a few other things that make it basically my dream truck. The fact that it's a 2018 is a huge plus. It's the last of the generation, the 4th gen body, design, everything. Because of course in 2019, they went to the 5th gen, which completely changed everything. They got, you know, roller rockers, the CP4, and just, I don't know. The 5th gen just made a lot of changes that I'm not a big fan of. And then of course, once we went past COVID, everything just went to crap in my opinion. New cars post-COVID are just junk. This truck is also a 68 RFE automatic. And for those of you that know, they are kind of problematic. So luckily when I bought the truck, it had come with a built transmission already. But of course, being that I build my own transmissions, the Frank Built Performance 68 RFE being kind of a specialty, I got rid of that transmission. It was a good unit. It was a tier 1, stage 1 or 2 unit. Really good unit, had no problems, but put one of my units in it, basically a 900 horsepower rated 68 RFE. It's got a Randy's billet triple disc converter. It's got the Randy's Babymaker 1000 valve body with the billet channel plate, Sonax billet input shaft. It's got the RevMax billet overdrive hub, the Sonax overdrive drum assembly with a custom clutch pack. Also did a billet center section, which allowed for 5 clutch 2C 4C setup, and of course all the other upgrades that you need in a 68 RFE. Plus I also powder coated the outside of the case, which that color will pretty much be the color that we use on all the accents on this truck, and I think it came out really sweet. So again, when I bought the truck, it was quite a bit modified and not necessarily to my liking, so I was able to sell everything off of it, the wheels, tires, suspension, transmission, everything. And really at this point, I am ahead in the truck. I also got a really good deal on the truck. So overall, it's been a great purchase for me as far as the deal and really just being my favorite truck and like favorite everything. One last thing I do want to mention about the 2018, you do get a little bit of an upgrade. You get this added line in the seats, which looks kind of cool. Kind of a mess in here, so don't mind me. It is a Laramie trim, so it's got all the goodies. leather seats. It's got the heated, the cooled, the steering heater, everything you would want in a truck. We got push to start because we're bougie like that. We got automatic 4-wheel drive, or shift on the fly, however you want to say it. Huge thing about the 2018 that I really like is they did have the updated stereo, which this one has CarPlay. The screen is a little bit glossier. Just overall, it's a better stereo. The one that was in the 2017 that I had was the older model, which pretty much carried over from, I want to say, like 2013. So it was pretty dated by the time these trucks came out. So really nice upgrade. Big fan of this size stereo. I like having buttons. Again, another one of the things I don't like about like the 2019s and up, they got that huge screen that takes over all the buttons, and then you don't really have, I don't know, call me old fashioned. I know buttons break just as well as a screen can break and whatnot, but it's just how I am. It's my preference, how I like my truck. Of course, everyone's taste is a little different, but again, this is my dream. But again, this is my personal dream truck. And of course, to be honest, like my true dream truck would be like an F450, Platinum, Limited, whatever. But honestly, right now I have zero use for a dually, an F450, something of that caliber. And the cost was basically double what I paid for this one for a comparable 2021 F450. But I digress, because this is truly a dream come true for me. Ever since I sold my 2017 about 3 or 4 years ago, I've been longing to get another 4th gen. Every time I drive one, when I work on one, it just kind of brings back the memories, because that was like the first brand new truck that I had. And even though it wasn't brand new, it was basically new. We got it with like 10,000 miles on it. So now there is one thing I hate about this truck, and I hate about all the 4th gens I've owned, and really any like Dodge or Ram or Chrysler product of this generation that's like mid 2010s or early late, whatever it is. And that would be these headlights. Now, the thing about them is they look really, really good. I don't understand. They are some of the nicest looking headlights in my opinion. You got this like projector looking thing. You got, you know, this little thing that looks like a spaceship, and this nice, you know, turn signal setup. And I mean, overall, it's a really nice looking headlight. But anyone that's owned one of these Chrysler products can attest that these headlights are garbage as far as light output. The light is just horrendous. I've had a couple 4th gens. I've had a Dodge Durango, a 2015, my wife's car, and they all sucked. I mean, it's just terrible. Like, and luckily I live in the city, so yeah, of course we got street lights and everything like that, but every time I drive on the highway or like where I live, there's fewer street lights, and it's just kind of hard to see. And as I've gotten older, my vision's gotten worse. I've got astigmatism now, and all that, you know, stuff that comes with age. It's just really hammered home the point about how bad these lights are. So hopefully that's something we are gonna take care of today. And guys, I wanna hear from you. What is your dream truck? You know, whether it's a gasser, it's a diesel, you know, even big rig, whatever it is, drop a comment down below. Let me know what your guys' dream truck would be. Now, when it comes to upgrading these headlights, you do have a few options. Of course, you can get new bulbs, you can do HIDs, you can do LEDs, which I do have a set of LED bulbs in here, and they just don't work that great, honestly. Now, I do have a set of LED bulbs in here, and they didn't improve too much. Now, I have been told that if you try some HIDs, there are certain ones that might actually make a huge improvement. However, the cost of those was a couple $100s for the really good ones, and just wasn't worth the investment risk for me. Another option you, of course, have is you could send out your stock headlights. You could have them retrofitted. There's a bunch of companies out there that do custom headlights. They do, you know, they'll change these out to projectors, LED cubes, and I mean, really the sky's the limit, the budget's the limit, you know, as far as doing custom housing with the OEM housing or whatever. And then of course you have the aftermarket headlight. And within the aftermarket light industry, you've probably heard of Alpharex. They are one of the major light manufacturers, along with Morimoto and some of the other brands as far as like aftermarket headlight housings that are an actual upgrade. Of course, there's Amazon brands and a whole bunch of other options. For me, Alpharex has just been my go-to. Now, this isn't a sponsored plug. I don't have any affiliation except that I sell Alpharex on my website. So take that with however you'd like. But I've been a big fan of the styling, and so far I've had great success with them. And of course, there are different levels to the lights. They have their bottom tier and then all the way up to their top tier Nova series, which the Nova series is my go-to. That's what I have on the 3rd gen Mega, and they work great. Now there is a caveat to that, and they are extremely expensive. And for some reason, I have a tendency to not want to spend money on my trucks if it's not like power related. So lighting especially has been a place where I kind of don't spend money. And that brings me to these headlights. And now these are retail like $1,400 headlights, but I did not pay that. And we're gonna find out today if that is a good thing or not. See if I got a deal or a bust. So as you guys can see, these boxes are already open, and the reason for that is that these are actually a scratch and dent special that I have gotten. So one of my vendors that I purchased from, they do what's called a scratch and dent sale, where they will sell things that were returned, that maybe had some damage, that shipping damage, a customer broke it, whatever. And it's the scratch and dent sale. And what they do is they'll tell you usually what is wrong with the product, of why it was returned or why it's in that special. And I paid just over $300 for these headlights that normally retail for over $1,300. So the only thing they said in the description of what was wrong with them is that they do make a little noise. They didn't tell us whether they work. They didn't tell us if there's any damage as far as the aesthetic. So we're gonna find out again if we got a deal or not. So first thing is, one of these, I did already open the box too. I was kind of eager, but one of these does make a little bit of noise. I don't remember which one. It's not that one. It's gotta be this one. I don't know if you guys can hear that. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see what's moving in here. I don't think so. But I do know if I pull one of these caps off the back, I can actually wiggle this whole housing. And that's what's making... If I take off this housing, rear cover, you can move this whole inner housing here. And as far as I can tell, that's the only thing making noise, and that's the only major thing wrong with these. So hopefully I'm hoping that we can figure out a way to fix these, because as you can see, these have the 4 projectors that really make for great light output. And once again, overall, we just got such a slamming deal that even if, I don't know, even if only one works, I think it's still a good deal for just over $300. So looking at the back of this headlight, which now I guess I should have left the protective covering, you got this like plastic deal that holds those LED bulbs in, and that's pretty much what is moving. So I'm not too sure what all moves in here. See if we can move this around and find something. I don't know if you guys can hear that clunking, but that's pretty much the complaint here. Huh. You can kind of see there's some play in that deal. I think that's, yeah, that's the adjuster. Huh. Luckily we have another headlight here we can compare to. Just pop these covers off as well. Play around. Guess we can. Oh. I don't know if you guys can see, I'm doing this all in my lap, so a little difficult holding the camera and trying to play around with this, but see if we can't compare. So I'm wondering if it's just like that adjuster that has play. Because this one doesn't have any play at all, which is nice. Yeah, this one has no play. I don't know. Going back to the broken one, kind of drawn to that. I don't know if that's supposed to actually hold it. I don't really know where else. This thing looks like, oh, there we go. There's a plastic piece there. Oh! Interesting. Looks like this plastic clip might be broken. Guys, imagine if that's all that's wrong with this headlight, just like a little, I don't know, 10-cent plastic clip. Man, trying to see. Wonder, imagine there's probably another one on this side. Uh-huh, yep, see? So that's what the clip should look like. And this one looks, this one, oh man, that zoom is not that great. Come on, focus up. Yeah, you can see where that clip is just all kinds of broken. I bet you that's the problem. The only problem I'm seeing is that I don't really know a good way, because we're probably going to have to pop it off of here and get this whole housing to come off. But I don't know if there's going to be a good way to do that without like opening it up the case, which I really don't want to pop lenses and do all that. That is not my specialty. However, I'm sure I could probably send it somewhere. Maybe they could help out with that. I don't know. But I'd like to see if we can fix it. Because honestly, I'd like to throw these on today. Because we're already here. Oh yeah, look at. That's 100% where all the play is coming from. And I kind of wonder. I mean, I wonder if I can pop it off of this one. I would have to disconnect it from here and maybe loosen the adjuster up to get the thing, the inside to kind of pop in. Then I could see if I could go to like O'Reilly's or something, and hopefully that's just like a regular clip, nothing special. Man, that'd be so cool if that was all that's wrong with it. I mean, granted, we still don't know if they even work, they light up, or if the other one has any issues, but I don't know. A man can dream. Let's see, get that out. I think what I'm going to do is start with loosening up this slack adjuster and seeing if, or this aiming deal, see if I can get this thing to go forward enough where I can pop it off of this rear clip here and see if I can match one up or something. I don't really know how far off I can go with this. I don't know if it's going the right way. Yeah, it's going off. I'll just pop this all the way off and see what happens. Okay. So now, oh, okay. Seems like it's like a two-piece clip, actually, which makes me wonder, maybe the other piece is just inside here. Because looking at this one here, it's actually like, kind of, I don't know, looks to be two pieces. I feel like that's the only thing holding it on. I want to pop it off of here, but I don't want to apply too much pressure and break anything more, because of course that would defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do here. It's funny, with where it's adjusted right now, it actually doesn't move at all. But I don't know how far down it's aimed. got a little bit of play again once I loosened it back up. But I mean, it just makes me wonder if the other piece is in here and if I can just slide it in and clip it back on. I'm gonna go grab a flashlight and see if I can find that other piece. Of course I grab a dead flashlight. All right, got a fresh battery. Just kind of looking to see if we can find that piece. Again, I don't know if it is a two-piece deal, but sure would make it a lot easier if it was. Man, I just wonder if I can get, I need to separate this housing from these pins. And of course I don't want to go too crazy and break any more, but there's got to be a way without breaking things. I don't really hear anything else in there, so I think it's not in there. So let's see if we can loosen this up some more again. See if we can't pop this off. Oh, 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 oh. 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 Okay. We did pop that off. Hoping we didn't break that clip too. We might have. Didn't break this side. Oh. Goes half of that. So now, pretty much got two broken clips. So now I really gotta hope I can find a new one at the parts store or something. So I ended up finding a company online that actually, they're a retrofit company. They can repair this, they said. So I think I'm going to go ahead and let them try to repair it. The reason being is, even though right now it's not really like, it doesn't clunk like it used to. The issue is since they're not fully seated, that means that whole projector housing is angled up. Right? Basically, you know, I'm going to have high beams all the time, if not just looking into the stratosphere. So they said the worst case scenario would be about $275 if they had to pop the lens off and actually do a full like rebuild on the headlight, or like at least like take it apart kind of deal. Even at that high price at $275 plus, you know, call it $50 for shipping, call it $325, still below like half price on these headlights so far. So as long as there's nothing else wrong with them and we can get these repaired, even like I said, the highest cost, and it might even be cheaper. They said they might be able to do it without pulling them apart, which would make it much cheaper. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and get them shipped out, and I will update you guys when I know more.
One eternity later.
Well, it's been a few weeks. We finally got the headlight back from 818 Retrofits. let's see what we got and let's see if it works and we can finally get these bad boys installed. So he was able to get the pins all fixed up, or the clips. He got the new adjuster installed, and you can see what he ended up doing was actually cutting the back half out instead of going in from the front, because I guess getting this clear off of these is pretty hard. So he ended up just kind of cutting this open, and this is actually the first time I'm seeing it. You guys seen I just unboxed it, so it looks pretty good. And I mean, honestly, considering that you won't see this anyway, it's not a big deal. It looks super. He said he basically plastic welded it and then did some RTV over it. And yeah, let's go ahead and get these bad boys installed. And I guess the moment of truth will be when we wire it up and we try to turn them on, because I never even tested them. So we're about a little under 600 bucks invested in these as of right now. With the repair, it costs 240 bucks to fix this one. So let's see if we got a deal or we got to spend more money. Shop going, and it's pretty chilly out, so I got the hoodie on. But to get the headlights out on these 4th gens, you got to take the grill off. You got to take the little plastic balance here off, and then there's 3 bolts for the headlights, and then they come right out. So go ahead and get into her. You got a couple 10 mil bolts at the top here to take out, and then there's some clips at the bottom of the grill that you got to clip in to get it out. All right, I misspoke. There's also 2 little 8mm kind of down on each side here that you got to unscrew. Whoop. And then you just use a long screwdriver, get the clips down below, which mine are broken. That's right. Now we got full access to the 2 10mm bolts that we need to pull out that hold the headlight in. And then there's a clip back here holding it in that you just gotta wiggle out. Well, that sucks. My clip for the headlight is actually broken already, so I need to get a screwdriver. Maybe I can pop it out. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm actually kind of worried because this headlight connector is a little different than the ones on the Alpharex headlight. So here's our problem. Here's the connector for the truck, and these are the connectors on the headlight. So I gotta look and see if there was an adapter that came with these headlights, or I assume maybe I'm gonna have to buy one. Whoa! A little windy out. Also, I misspoke earlier when I said that you just gotta pull the headlight out. My headlights apparently have already been pulled out, because if you see this piece here, it's got this little like ledge that holds it in. This slider here is what that goes to. So my headlights were already broken. So yeah, make sure you pop this off as well as these 2 bolts. But I guess now I got to do a little more research and see what's going on with these. So now I'm going to button everything back up and come back to this later. All right, it's been a few days. We're back. Got the front end disassembled, both headlights out. And I did find that there is an adapter harness for the, basically if it has stock projectors, which these are true projectors. So you got to get this adapter harness. 30 bucks, got it ordered up. Let's see if we can't get these finally installed and finally have this thing done for a while. So you can see this is like an in-between harness. It'll connect to the body side here and then to the headlight side here. And then we got a couple wires and whatnot. So let's see what we got to connect. I don't know if anything's labeled. I'm going to go with the blue goes to the blue wiring. And then we got yellow, red, black, which, I mean, it's the only other plug, so I wonder if we can bypass this. Let's go direct, make it cleaner, and then plug that in there. And then we got this little sticky deal we'll find a place for. All right, so I just put this little sticky stick-on thing that they give you. I just put it right there. I think that's a good spot. Hopefully it's not too tight there. And then we'll just kind of clean up this harness with the zip ties. Just so it's not a big mess. All right, got both headlights prepped, and I just plugged everything in how I thought it should go because there are no instructions. I checked the box, I looked up on the computer, and there's no instructions on Alpharex that I can find just real quick. I could be wrong, there might be some somewhere, but I couldn't find any instructions for specifically installing from the projectors into these headlights and then specifically using this adapter harness. So I just, again, I matched the wire colors that looked right, blue and white with the blue and white plug, and then this one here, and then this black, what was it, female that plugged into this red. So hopefully that's right. We're gonna find out right now. We're gonna go ahead and get them installed. So once again, we just had the 2 bolts here. We got this little slide tab here and the one connector. Connector fits. This tab was broken, so I think what I'm gonna do is, it might be all right. I was gonna say put a zip tie around, but I think we're all right. Let's see, make sure it fits. I think that harness is just kind of getting tucked around. Don't want to really force it in. Might have to cut that zip tie. See where the harness is here? I think it's getting bunched up right here, so we'll just cut it and try again. Try to get that harness in this little pocket probably. And make sure this wire doesn't hit this little ball connector. And there we go. Fancy. All right, now the moment of truth. Let's see if they work. Oh, I see light. Should be low beam. All right, 3 projectors, 3 projectors. Let's see if high beam works. Oh, we are in business. I'm so stoked. That's so cool. Make sure turn signals work. How are we looking? Very nice. I call that a success. All right, now the kind of annoying part is that we are going to have to take the headlights out and adjust them because the adjuster, if you remember, is like in the back here, and there's really no way to get to it, unfortunately. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the truck around. We're gonna turn the lights off in the shop. We're gonna aim them at the back door there, and I'm gonna look up the spec. I forgot. I'm pretty sure you gotta park a certain feet back and then aim it at a certain feet up kind of deal. So we're gonna do that, and it's gonna require just kind of a lot of unplug and plug back in kind of deal. So kind of tedious, but you got to do it so that your lights are actually aimed properly, because what's the point of having brand new good lights if they aren't aimed properly? Because again, you don't want them shooting up in the sky. You don't want them shooting too low. You know, you don't want people flashing you because you're running, you know, your lights are up high and they think you're on high beams, all that kind of stuff. So last thing we got to do, adjust these headlights. I'm stoked though. $600, less than $600. I'm into these Alpharex Nova series headlights, which again, I just looked up on the website. They retail for like $13.50. So super stoked. A little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of headache, but we learned along the way. Let's get them adjusted, then we'll be done. All right, so what I did is I backed the truck up, or turned it around, backed it up 25 feet from the door. You see I got that green tape line there. That is 3.5 feet up off the ground, which is, from my research, pretty much where you want it to be. And it seems like both headlights are a bit low. So we're gonna go ahead, have to pull them out and get the beams up quite a bit. It'll be a little bit of a trial and error deal to see how many clicks turns into how many, how far up, but let's get her done. All right, so we got the final product. You can kind of see like the main beam, all the light is kind of in this area. Of course, we kind of got some choppiness above the line. And it was kind of hard to make it up. I didn't want it too low because obviously you don't want to hit in the ground. And you don't want it too high because that's when you're blinding other drivers. So this is kind of a happy medium. Of course, with the way the lights are, you know, they kind of stepped up. So in the center kind of seems like it's always going to be higher. But I'm happy with that. I'm gonna run it tonight, see how it works. If I need to adjust it again, I'll do it. It is what it is. It actually wasn't that bad to do it. I was able to eyeball it without putting it back in every time and then do the fine adjustments, kind of sticking them in, hitting the back plastic clip seemed to do the biggest difference. Well, I call that a success. We got them installed. They work great. They look great. I really think the style matches the truck. I was a little worried that the white, usually I order these with like a dark lens. Not usually a fan of the white, especially on the third gens, I think. But on this, I think it looks killer. It really, you know, really just looks good to me, in my opinion. So overall, I'm super happy, super pumped. Saved about $700. I looked it up. I did all the numbers. I'm $608 into the set of headlights here, which again, looking at the website, retail goes for around $1,300. And in this economy, saving $700 means a lot. So super happy, super pumped. These headlights work way better than the stock ones. The cutoff is way better. They're way wider. And the high beams are actually high beams. So huge improvement, 10 out of 10 recommend. And if you want a set of these headlights without all the headache that I went through and a warranty, because again, I have 0 warranty. So if they fail tomorrow, that's that. So it's a risk I took. It is what it is. But if you want a set of these without that risk, you can check them out at frankbuiltperformance.com. We got them up on the website along with all the other parts you could want or need for your diesel truck. And if you don't see what you're looking for, just shoot me a message. Chances are I can get it for you. We're a dealer for pretty much all your favorite major brands. Again, guys, that's frankbuiltperformance.com. That's the best way to support me, the channel, and really help me get this channel going again. Appreciate you guys, all your support. You know, right now I looked at it, we're just under 3,000 subscribers, so I'm super pumped. I'm happy to report I have 10 videos already in the works, filmed and edited, ready to upload. So we're gonna be pretty much from here on out, we're weekly uploads. So stay tuned. If you guys haven't already, subscribe if you wanna keep up to date, if you like this content. And if you could help me out, hit the like button. Really helps with the algorithm, especially reviving the old channel. And guys, if you want to really keep up to date, hit the notification bell. And also leave a comment down below. I'm interested to hear, maybe you guys have a deal similar to this where you were able to save a bunch of money on a product. Or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, again, drop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them all. So either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.